being well disposed and so on is empowering. This seems innocuous and straightforward enough, doesn't it? But we must be aware of the context here, especially in relation to the previous sutra, which I covered in the last video. What's the challenge we have? What do we need to be empowered with respect to? We need to be empowered to assert our own reality, rather than the reality that we have been fed, rather than the reality that we've been educated to believe, the reality which we have been taught to emotionally invest in. It's this reality which is always trying to subvert and hijack our sense of being. Our sense of being is our strength, is our power, and it's constantly diminished and attacked by those who tell us what we're supposed to be concerned about. So being well disposed isn't about being a decent enough person. Being well disposed is once again being like the Buddha in response to the attacks of Mara. You turn these attacks into a shower of flowers. You are completely unruffled. Your sense of being is completely unruffled. It's unruffled no matter what your actions, no matter what the result of your enterprises. In fact, there's a wonderful scene in the movie version of Zorba the Greek. I think Zorba has managed to get this academic to join him in some mining scheme. I think it's on the island of Crete. And the whole thing comes crashing down. All their investment, all their effort, all their time comes crashing down in the most incredible disaster. And what does Zorba do? He laughs, he dances. It's a wonderful scene, it's a wonderful book. So being well disposed here is even more than that. Being well disposed is being well disposed to samadhi. Sometimes it might seem a bit much, all this yoga practice, all this study of Sanskrit or whatever, reading these ancient texts from India. But when you feel that, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. That's a sign that you haven't got it quite right. Samadhi becomes your strength. Your inner spiritual certainty becomes your strength. This is what is real. Not what you've been told is real. Not what you're informed is real. Your own sense of being. Your samyama. This is what is real. This is your practice. This is what is real. This is your priority. And there's an etc. here, and so on, being well disposed, and so on. Well, you can take anything you like for that. First of all, you're well disposed to samadhi. But I could also refer you to Sutra 33 of Book 1, which is to do with the Brahma Viharas. The mind becomes tranquil when there is friendliness, compassion, gladness, equanimity in regards to what is joyful, painful, worthy or unworthy. And in fact, the previous sutra, Sutra 22, is really a development of that particular sutra. The mind becoming tranquil is developed into harmonious integration. And there's friendliness, compassion, gladness, equanimity, no matter what the circumstances. whether they're inconsequential actions, actions we engage with, ominous circumstances, or the final end of things. So being well disposed and so on could be understood in that context. And Sutra 24 tells us, and this empowerment is the strength and other qualities of an elephant. Well, you might have more affinity for elephants if you're living in proximity to them, but I think even in the West we have an appreciation of elephants, of their majesty, of their strength. There's something unshakable about them. Sri Iyengar, in his commentary on the Sutras, in his translation and commentary, talks of other qualities such as grace and endurance. So the elephant is big, but it's also graceful. And back in Sutra 14 of Book 2, I spoke about the graciousness of behaviour. This is my way of understanding meritorious and demeritorious behaviour. You behave with graciousness. It means not imposing your mood on others and not trying to justify your own moods. You carry on doing what needs to be done, and what needs to be done is becoming established in samadhi. So you become like the elephant. Whether you're standing still or moving, you're not sidetracked from your purpose. You're not divested of your sense of being. So this is empowerment, being committed and devoted and absolutely certain of remaining in samadhi, of coming back to it. And there's no excuses. You're not interested in making any excuses. You're not interested in justifying any mood as being more important than being in samadhi. Following sutras pursue this on a much subtler level.